Well, I think, one of the things that there's a lot of information out there about low mortgage rates and so forth, and I think Jim made the point about equity. The other point is credit scores, because I think that it's very important for people who may want to get into a refinancing situation to know that the kinds of standards that are now being employed by the lenders are much stiffer than they were in the last few years. And having just gone through a refinancing myself, it was a 2 years of tax returns and all kinds of documentation that had to be provided in order to get to those low interest rates.
Okay. Now we want to turn to those who have sent in questions. Thank you to those of you who have written in with your email questions. We want to encourage you to continue as we talk. Again, click on the link right above us, or you can email us at questions@vahomeownersalliance.com. This first set of questions comes from Sue in Fredericksburg and also from Mike in Mannequin. And I'm going to combine these two. She writes about how banks, she hears, aren't lending to anyone even if they have good credit. And so realistically, how difficult is it to get a mortgage loan today? And I'll follow up with Mike's question after we get a handle on this. Is that just rumor?
Well, again, a lot of that's being fueled by what people are hearing in the media. There is liquidity out there. There is money to lend. Rates are at historic lows. But as John talked about, banks have a little more aversion to risk right now, so you have to have more documentation. The days of low doc, no money down are gone. They got to be fully documented. You've got to have a work history. You've got to have some down payment money. Programs like FHA is really only 3.5%, but on more your conventional loans, you're going to be looking at 5–10% as minimums. But again, you're going to have it fully documented, or they're not going to lend.
Okay. Now, Mike's question has to do with a program he heard about that allows for a 4.5% mortgage rate for certain consumers.
Well, there were rumors out that the Treasury was going to come out with a program that was going to drive mortgage rates down to 4.5%. And it was a little distressing for folks in the industry, because immediately people were canceling their mortgage contracts saying, well, I want that 4.5% loan. There was no Treasury program to do that. What the Treasury has done is they're working with the Federal Reserve, and they are buying mortgages, conforming mortgages in the secondary market, which is driving down the effective mortgage rate on mortgages, and hopefully it'll get to 4.5 or 4.25. We really don't know, but the plan is to buy about $500 billion in mortgages, which is about the equivalent of the entire mortgage production in a good year, and that should bring mortgage rates down. But again, that's on conforming mortgages, and rates on subprime and on jumbo mortgages, they are lower, but they're not likely to come down anywhere near as much.
Okay. Amy in Williamsburg writes this question. She talks about the $700 billion bailout that Congress gave to Wall Street, and she wants to know what the government is doing to help struggling homeowners. So John McClain, if you don't mind handling this one, what assistance is out there?
Well, a lot of local governments and state governments as well. I think VHDA in Virginia, as well as a lot of local governments in Virginia, are places to turn to try to get some assistance if you're in a difficult situation as a homeowner. And I think that's one place to go. Although the advice about first call your lender is a correct one, but then if you can't find out who your lender is, or it's confusing, a lot of the local governments, and they have networks of nonprofit organizations that have counseling services that are able to help people who are in these kind of situations. And I believe that there's going to be a lot of information up on the website with this program that will be helpful in that.
All right, and we are reaching the end of the program, but not the end of the project. I want to tell you that you can continue to write in with your questions even as we go off air. Just click on the link above, or send us any questions through questions@vahomeownersalliance.com. I want to thank you, Jim Napier, Mark Vitner, and John McClain from Northern Virginia, for joining us today, and remind you that this is the brand new organization for you. The Virginia Homeowners Alliance is here as an online community to help get you the resources that you need to help make informed decisions about your homes. And if you have any questions about our webcast today, contact Jay Smith. You can email him at questions@vahomeownersalliance.